I don't know what. This? Sure? Sure, Ray?
Okay.
Sure.
We'll do it after. Hi, I'm Raymond,
I'm Emily.
and this is the Emily and Raymond Show.
Every Thursday between 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. at Frequency 5 FM.
And today we're going to be talking about workplace issues.
And all the horror stories and the terrible and tragic things that have happened to us while we've been such good employees and we just weren't treated right. It was really a travesty on the legal system.
Okay, and do you want to start the first topic or should I?
Oh, you can go ahead and start, Ray. It's fine.
Okay, I guess one issue that really annoys me with like any workplace is when you get hired full-time and you don't get any benefits. Or when you get hired part-time and they make you do full-time hours with no overtime or no benefits. And it's really annoying because when you sign the contract, there's nothing stating the kind of hours that you're allowed to work or the minimum amount of hours that you're going to do. And overall, I think they should really change the system so that you have more employee protection per se.
So my spiel on the whole thing, I mean, I've got a lot of different work experiences where I was treated pretty unfairly, unfortunately, but I laugh at it now because it really was funny what happened to me. But I'll let my husband here, Ray, go first if you'd like about his experiences.
Which kind of experience? I have tons.
Okay, start off with the place in the past year, some work experience you had in the past year.
Okay, one place I worked at was really excessive hours. I used to work maybe 12, 15, sometimes even 60-hour rotation. Very annoying. And you got no breaks, no overtime. They treated their employees like garbage really. I remember one time I had 7 staff walk out as soon as I walked into one shift. They're like, nope, we don't want to work here anymore. And they all left. And I was like in the middle of a rush where we had 4 or 5 functions at the same time. So I had to physically do a job of about 15 other people while doing my own job and balancing everything. I don't know how I did it, but I somehow survived that shift. I ended up going home at like 6 in the morning that day. It was a trek. And then it became a pattern. I started realizing as the season ended, every day it was like that. And then when we had a break in December and I took on a new job, I went about 7 months without going back to that old workplace. They asked me to return to do full-time again. I did maybe 2 shifts before I realized that this place was never going to change. I just walked off. I didn't even tell them I was really leaving. I just left. I knew if I tried to quit, they would beg me to stay, and I really didn't want to do it again because it was too much emotional and physical abuse.
Good Lord. It's terrible.
Yeah, very terrible.
Just devastating when you think about this, dear, isn't it? Would you have any other experiences that you'd like to share, dear, or shall I go on and share my horrific, nightmarish experiences?
I'll give you a turn.
Alright, so I'm going to start off. I went to a government-run employment agency just over a year ago, and the best job that they could help me find when I took their training program and they paid me for the 2 weeks, like job workshops, you know, resume building, all that, was an under-the-table job, basically. And unfortunately with these kinds of jobs, you know, they're not legal, they don't, you know, you don't pay money to the government, right? And considering how it's a government-run agency, you would think, why are you referring me here to this job? That's technically not legal, right? So unfortunately with that job, you know, shifts would be canceled last minute, not the most stable job. And then I had several other experiences with that agency where I was trying to find an actual legal job. So I ended up getting hired at a club for members only. You know, doctors would go there, lawyers would go there.
Basically like a gentleman's club, kind of.
No, I wouldn't. No, not a gentleman's club. No. That's not true. No. This is for the upper class. You know, the elite.
Yeah,
you know, upper class. People who have class and not people who are go to gentlemen's clubs. So don't correct me on that. I'm going to be very upset.
Okay.
Continuing on. So, unfortunately, going back to my regular voice here. The club here. The club where elite people go did not treat me very well. You know, I'm doing a hostessing there, so why on earth should a female hostess be expected to lift 50 pounds of cutlery and utensils? I mean, shouldn't that be left to the male staff, not the female staff? I don't agree with that. Because you kind of see my build here, ladies and gentlemen. Do I look like I have a lot of muscle? I flex my muscle. Does that look like I got a lot of muscle here? No, not really. I know that I don't. So basically, when I asked them within 4 days, they said to me, somebody told me, Emily, that you can't lift 4 menus. And I'm like, excuse me? I mean, I'm a little bit insulted here. I mean, I'm pretty sure that even a 10 or 12-year-old child can lift 4 menus. So I'm like saying to myself, I think you got that mistaken here. I think there's been some kind of error because I'm more than capable of lifting 4 menus. I'm just being assertive. I'm exercising my rights. I'm pretty sure anybody would be upset with that. Your third day working
like 4
there.
menus like a box of Kleenex.
Well, basically, or whatever, like a couple of water bottles here, like whatever.
It's classic.
Exactly, it's absurd. So I just said, well, that's a mistake, so maybe that can be rectified because that is far from true. And I demonstrated in the manager's office by trying to lift a chair in front of him, and he says, oh, no, it's okay. You don't need to demonstrate. And then by my 4th day working there, he pulls me aside when I had an early morning shift, and they literally gave me back-to-back shifts. By the time I got home, it was midnight, and then I had to be up at 6 o'clock the next morning. So basically, I'm getting 6 hours of sleep, and you expect me to do 8 hours one day, 8 hours the next day, with less than 8 hours of sleep. I'm wondering how that's even legal.
Well, no, because technically you have to have 7 to 8 hours gap. Like when you leave?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, legally, I think it's 11 hours.
Is it?
You're supposed to have a break. So if you leave at midnight, your next shift shouldn't be until at least 10 o'clock the next day.
It was 9 a.m. the next day, so they broke the law.
Kind of lenient, but it depends like how much time it takes you to go home and stuff too.
It was an hour and 5 minutes.
Oh, it depends.
Yeah.
Well, with your cutlery story, it's like a standard for banquet issues, where if there's a really heavy stuff, normally the men will take over, the women don't have to do it.
Well, yeah, it only makes sense.
So, but your place is kind of weird how they make the women do everything. I remember you were telling me how they used to make you guys lift lawn tables.
Patio furniture in the summertime. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, are you asking me to quit here? You want me to say bye, good riddance? Basically, that's what they're trying to say. So I'm kind of thinking in my head, I'm glad he fired me. It was actually a blessing in disguise because he puts me in his office, and then I go to my job counselor, and she really wasn't very helpful. I'm going to be frank here. And it's like, do you want me to be on EI? Do you want me to be on welfare? Because the way that you're going here, you're kind of going in that direction, lady. That's my thoughts in my head. I felt like going on Erin Brockovich on her, but I didn't. Erin Brockovich, one of my favorite movies by Julia Roberts. She does not put up with crap when people don't want to hire her, okay? You don't just hire me to fire me. That is my motto, right? That is my motto. Yep. You're going to hire me, then keep me past the 90-day probation. That's nonsense otherwise. Now, my second experience here was at another restaurant. And it was interesting because you referred me there, and I blame this on you.
I'm in trouble now.
I put all this on your shoulders here.
Yeah, I'll take the blame.
Oh, you owe me pay for this. Yeah, you owe me pay for this. So he happened to know the manager of the restaurant who did the recruiting process here. So I told the manager on my interview day that, oh, yeah, do you know Mr. Raymond? He says, yeah, I know Raymond. We're good buddies. I'm like, awesome, great. He's like, oh, that's impressive. You got a lot of customer service experience over the phone. I'm like, yes, I do, as a matter of fact. He's like, oh, okay, maybe we'll put you on phones as well. I'm like, sounds good. And I told him I was interested in doing hostessing. And then the second or third day of me working there, the time clock wouldn't work. I couldn't punch in my employee number into the time clock machine. So I'm like thinking, okay then, there's some kind of error. And then I go to all my coworkers and I'm like, why can't I punch in my number into the time clock? And they're like, oh, we never had that problem before. That's really weird. You're going to have to talk to the manager about it. So I go to the manager and I'm like, well, the time clock's not working. So I'm like, can it be rectified? And they're like, don't worry about it. And then when I had my shift, my coworker said, you did a great job on training. You did such an awesome job. All my coworkers tell me that. So clearly there's something wrong with the management.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with them. There's something wrong, clearly. And then I told the manager, I actually decided to stay an extra half an hour because I wanted to make a good impression. This is me being a hard-working employee, wanting to stay here an extra half an hour, and you can't even acknowledge that, basically. You don't even, think that's a big deal. And then my 4th day working there, a waitress was nice enough to spill salad dressing all over my leg. Wonderful. I'm wearing, a black miniskirt or a black dress, and I end up with salad cream all over my leg. Not only that, there's another horror story. I found out from some of my coworkers that people's tips get stolen. There's not enough locker space to store your purse or your wallet in lockers in the gym, or it's like a gym, but much smaller where the employees put their stuff. I had to hide my stuff, basically, where the hostess stand was. I'm like, how on earth do you expect us to function and work well as employees when there's people here who are stealing money and you don't even care?
Yeah, I had a job like that where my supervisors stole tips all the time.
Yeah.
They'd steal our tip out and go across the street and buy lottery tickets.
Interesting.
And then come back when all the cameras are on in the kitchen and scratch your tickets for 6 hours.
How fascinating. Wow, that is really refreshing. You used to get so much trouble for that. But I remember that day you got fired for having the cream on your leg. You came to see me after. Yeah, I wasn't. Well, he didn't say that was the reason for firing me. Yeah. When I said to him, excuse me, do you mind me asking why you're firing me here? He's like, oh, no reason. It's just not a good fit, Emily, I mean, we're exercising our rights here under into the 90-day probation period. Oh my! And I'm like thinking in my head, this guy is seriously... There's something seriously wrong with this guy, okay? He must be on something because he can't even give me a reason why on earth you're firing me for the second time in a row here. I spend an extra half an hour, okay? I go out of my way to make sure that everything's done properly. My coworkers even tell me that I do a good job of training, and here you are with a banana shoved up your rear end, basically telling me here that you're firing me because you don't like women. I'm sorry, but girls unite. Do you see my sweater here, ladies and gentlemen? Do I need to make it clear that girls unite? Who run the world? Girls first.
Yes,
Who runs the world? Beyonce, you are onto something when you created that song, Who Runs the World? Girls First. And buddy, I'm telling you, I'm going to show up to that club when I got a career in Hollywood, and you're going to be shameful and regret that you ever fired me in the first place.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Power to the people.
A power to females.
Yes.
And anyway, continuing on. One last experience that I have. Remember the call center where my purse actually did get stolen?
Oh, yes, your last job.
Yeah, the temp job, basically. Because the job where they weren't giving me enough shifts said, oh, we're sorry we can't get you enough shifts. Why don't we refer you to an even worse company to work for? So what basically happens is my very third last day working there, I suddenly go into my locker and I find out my purse isn't there. I look at the above locker, couldn't see it there. There are cameras there, and I'm freaking out. I'm telling all my coworkers, my purse is gone. What happened? And I remember I went on break because I was getting cold, so I went back to the locker to put my sweater on. Yeah. And then they said, yeah, we didn't see anything. They checked the garbage, they checked the ladies' room, they couldn't find anything. I mean, what on earth is it? A ghost purse, a phantom purse that just sprouts legs and starts walking out onto, the highway, basically, because the job was near the highway. So then I go to the management and I'm like, yeah, I got no way of going home. My Metro Pass was in that purse. My keys were in that purse. My cell phone was in that purse. So how on earth do you expect me to get home here? Hitchhike? So then she says to me, okay, here's $40-something to get to the subway. And then, if my friend here is watching, one of my really good guy friends who from boarding school, who's from the same school as my stalker that I mentioned in the last episode, he rescued me and he let me crash at his place. And Josias, if you're watching this, thank you so much for doing that for me. You saved my life that day because you were busy doing something that night, or my phone.
Oh no, I went to sleep like 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
so I
really
didn't look
early.
at my messages. If you told me, then
I know my husband failed me once again. Unfortunately,
every
time he failed me. So basically, and then I find out the next day. I go to the police station the next morning, and then they said, "Okay, we'll write down, we'll copy down everything. We can't promise everything." And I'm like, "Have some faith." Can I not tell you, I'll share this in another episode for next week, how many times I have lost my cell phone in Toronto, and it's always been returned to me every single time.
She has like an angel on her, man.
I have an angel here on my shoulder. I have a guardian angel looking after me. So continuing on, and then lo and behold, the phantom purse apparently was in the locker above my locker the entire time, even though I checked my locker. Which makes absolutely no sense because the management says, oh yeah, the police, did a report and we saw the cameras. And I'm like, do you want to look at the footage in case you don't believe me? And I'm like, no, I don't need to look at the footage. It's fine. I believe you. I'm just glad I have my purse back. And then they expected reimbursement for the $40-something, but they never told me I had to reimburse them in the first place.
Yeah.
So I give me the money, only to, want me to reimburse you, make an hour-and-a-half trip just to get out there by transit to reimburse you the money. Lady, do you want me to be stranded? You never told me I had to pay you back.
And furthermore, don't they get the police to call your phone how many times a day?
Oh boy. Well, that was, thankfully that stopped.
Oh,
so no worries, that's fine, but that's water under the bridge. And I have now, thanks to my husband here, started working at home with an American company, starting work at home very soon. It saves the transportation money. It saves the hassle of being late. It saves the rush hour madness. We have to stop the madness with the rush hour, don't we? It's just terrible. Just in general with commuting and being places.
They're working on that, but by the time we're 50, that stuff will be all done. The way
probably.
They build these trains.
By the time you grow a beard, a Moses beard, basically.
No, it was like last year. They're working on that Eglinton train thing, and then the building collapsed.
Oh, Lord!
They're trying to go straight on a road that goes up.
Oh.
Eglinton goes up on a hill. You can't go straight. It's going to go kapoof.
Kapoof!
Exactly.
Fantastic. Real wonderful creative brains everybody has for transportation. So thank God I'm working at home. And thank God we got several things in the work here for income, don't we, husband?
Yeah, we have other things we're working on.
We do. So thank you so much But yeah, I mean, I'd love to have anybody, if anybody has experiences, horrific work experiences like the ones that my husband and I just shared here, I'd love for you to call in or comment on Facebook if you've got any terrible experiences. I mean, I could literally, just to get me to snap out of it, pour this bottle of water on my head right now just to get my brain to stop thinking about it.
Yesterday you whacked yourself with styrofoam water.
Oh yes, I popped my head and myself in the head with styrofoam, going like.
She was just going crazy. I don't know what's wrong with her.
I was going nuts. It feels like when you're applying for work and you get fired, like I did, or your purse gets stolen, you go like banging your head against a wall because absolutely nothing is going your way income-wise, and you feel like, well, you want to throw me out on the streets?
Well,
Thanks a lot.
That doesn't beat the one time I went into a job after a month of not having shifts. I got injured. I guess they didn't want to give me shifts. I go in, sign in, work for 20 minutes. They call me into the office, say, oh, we don't want you anymore. We don't like you. You're fired.
I think you told me you never got fired. You lied to me, husband.
No, that was okay. I can say that was, I guess, in legal grounds.
You did get fired. Then you told me you've never been fired in your entire life. You lied.
No, that was the one time. I would have to say.
One time. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I tried being fired 3 times. I didn't mention the 3rd time I got fired.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't mention about the cafe that I work for, the coffee shop that I work for.
Yeah, you did. You made me dress as a lawyer and go collect your money.
Oh, and you did not collect my money, by the way. You said that I was capable.
You kept sleeping in.
You said that I was capable of doing that for myself. You get insomnia when you keep losing jobs to the point where you can't sleep. No wonder I sleep in and I have nightmares. No wonder.
Okay.
So this coffee shop, right, I basically work for them for 12 hours. I make one little mistake on the cash register because someone paid with cash. And I didn't put it into the machine as cash. I think I might have accidentally put it as debit or something. And you expect me, after my 3rd day here, to know every single thing. By the time my 2nd day comes around, I've only had 3 hours of training, and the owner of the coffee shop goes, she better know everything. She's had her 3 hours of training. She better be good. And then the owner of the coffee shop starts saying, don't make a mistake on the cash register. Be nicer to the customers. Make sure you put the pastries in the microwave. Lady, I didn't know that this place was run by Hitler. I really did not know that, okay? I mean, I didn't think that I was under your army here working for customers to make you money. I mean, I didn't think that this was a communist thing, you know? I thought this was a workplace of freedom of speech. I didn't think we were under some kind of terrible communist dictatorship. So anyway, that's how she talks to me. And then I noticed that she's talking, whispering, you know, to the manager, who's under her, obviously, staring at me while I'm bussing and I'm cleaning up the tables. And I'm like thinking in my head, I'm perfectly capable of carrying things, okay? I'm not carrying 100 pounds worth of cutlery here. So why you're whispering about me and why you're staring at me as if I'm some kind of famous person and you're going to write me up to the paparazzi is beyond me. So then he tells me over the phone, I'm about to show up on Friday. Oh, yeah, by the way, Emily, thanks for calling me. Well, we decided to let you go. And I'm like, wow, in my head, thank you so much for firing me the 3rd time in a row. 3 strikes and you're out. So then I go the next day, or the next week, whatever it is, and I'm telling you all about it. I go there the first time, the manager chickens out and says, yeah, I'll give your check to one of your co-workers. They can give it to you. And then the co-worker says, oh, yeah, we don't have your check. So I'm like, yeah, thanks for inconveniencing me. I made a trip out here just to get my money. You don't even have my money. So then I end up going a couple of days later, and then they're just like, oh, yeah, here's your check. And then I'm like, you see, oh, $104. You actually owe me $40 here because I worked 12 hours, not 9 hours. And he's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, I'm not signing any paper, and I'm not afraid to get my lawyer involved here unless you paid me what is rightfully mine. I went Aaron Brockovich on them. I went real cold. And then he cooperated and he budged. And I got my check and I got my $40 without my husband's help here to make that clear. To not have any lawyer help me. I womaned up, I grew up here, and I went all by myself. And that was, again, another male manager that fired me. Never once have I been fired by a female manager. So ladies, again, I'm not saying I'm a feminist. I'm not saying anything bad. You know what? Nobody's perfect on this earth. Women can be in the wrong just as much as men. But the fact that I got fired all by male managers, bang, 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 3 strikes and you're out, says something that females, girls need to unite. Remember the song Beyonce, who runs the world, girls first. So continuing on here, Mr. Nankumar, my husband.
Any other stories you want to know about, specifically?
Oh, well, I do have one other thing that I was going to mention. I actually was in a call center operated by a woman. Again, she was an interesting character. She actually cranked the music up while we were trying to listen to customers on the phone, and she played Mariah Carey's Obsessed. And she starts singing along to the Obsessed song. Why you so obsessed with me? Boy, I want to know. Lying that you're sexting me when everybody knows. And I'm like, woman, I'm like in my head, what are you doing? Not to her face, obviously. In my head, this is a call center, okay? I'm trying to listen to customers on the phone, and it's really not helping here that you're blasting music, cranking it up really loud because you clearly don't like your job very much and you're bored. And here we are, the poor little employees underneath you trying to listen to what the customers are saying, and then the people that are closer to the boss's desk say, can you please turn that down? We're trying to listen to what the customers are saying. She's like, oh no, you don't tell me what to do. If I hear one more thing from you, you better be careful because I'm not afraid to fire you. And then she changed the weekend schedule, so I didn't know which Saturday I was working and which Saturday I wasn't. And then there was one Saturday that I actually thought I had off because she never emailed us. She wasn't very clear about it, and other employees got confused too. And she says, where were you, Emily? We had work on Saturday. And I'm like, I thought that we didn't have work that Saturday. I apologize. There was a misunderstanding. And then she says, oh, well, now you're not getting your bonus pay and your commission pay, and you won't be getting Saturday's pay either. Do it again, and you're fired. And I'm like, oh, okay. So thanks for letting me know. Then the next day she says, good job, Emily. I like your shirt. I like your sweater. And then she sucks up to me, obviously, because she feels badly about insulting me, right? Basically. She reels people in after, like, sucking them in. Everybody in the office thought she was a narcissist. People thought there's seriously something wrong with this woman. And then another thing happened. I bumped into one of my other supervisors on the subway a couple of months after I quit that job.
Yeah, you're telling me.
I bumped into the guy. He was reading a newspaper. He had his headphones in. He was really weird to me. He'd like breathe down your neck like a dragon. He'd come right up to you. Like, I won't demonstrate, but he'd come right up to you. Like, if you were way closer. And he'd be like, don't do that, Emily. What are you clicking on? Why didn't you raise your hand? And I'm like, I thought you were supposed to come here and tell me what I was supposed to do. I raised my hand for 15 minutes, and nobody came to answer my question. Not like that. I didn't give him attitude, but I was assertive. And everybody complained about him. A huge turnover. Out of all the people that showed up on training day, I was the one that lasted the longest. Nobody lasted during the 90-day probation. I left within 8 weeks. And most people left there within the first 2 weeks to a month. The fact that I lasted 8 weeks really does say something, doesn't it, husband?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, you're very ambitious.
Thank you. Very persevering is the right word. Not only that, but they had bed bugs in their building. There were bed bugs on the stinking chair, like they were material office chairs, you know? Not the hard plastic ones where there's like cushioning. And they said that they had to exterminate the place and change their company name and get rid of all the chairs just so that they wouldn't be sued by the labor board. That's what one of my coworkers told me. So there's my nightmare stories, ladies and gentlemen. Now share yours, husband. Please do.
Actually, I have a really interesting story. I'm a food guy. I've done a lot of chef jobs and stuff. So I worked, one place I worked this year, I lasted, I think it was 6 weeks or 7 weeks in that really small restaurant. It's the size of the studio.
I think I remember.
And they can fit like 100 people. And like, they can't fit 100 people. There's always 100 people there when it's busy. Huh. And this place is so disgusting.
Oh, Lord.
They
terrible.
defrost their food on the floor. Huh. They put it in buckets.
Fantastic.
No, it wasn't Chinese.
Oh, flip. That's awful. What kind of food was it exactly?
Spanish.
Interesting. Mexican. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so they defrosted their food on the floor.
Oh, Lord!
The fridges never worked properly, so they used to get big rolls of duct tape and make you duct tape all the fridges shut. So they kept opening and meat would fall on the floor. They'll throw it back in the fridge, put tape on,
duct tape.
and then leave it.
Goodness.
Some they're washing the dishes or making sure everything is good. Fridge open every 2 minutes. I'm like, oh my god. So I thought that was the worst of it. No. Delivery time was disturbing.
Oh,
they had
Lord.
delivery coming in, and you go down to the freezers. The room is covered in water. The freezers aren't working properly. You have stuff forced like calamari and all sorts of stuff in the freezers. I remember one time I went down, I opened the fridge. The door fell off. I was like,
what? On your head? Did you not hurt yourself?
It just fell on the ground.
Oh
so I was
gosh.
like, okay. I just acted like I didn't see nothing. Put my hands in my pockets, walked away. And the place was so poorly maintained, but somehow they made so much money on weekends.
What?
Their food, defrost, season, cook, freeze, defrost, serve to customers. That was their thing. Right? So it was really, really weird.
Wow.
No, it wasn't on Spadina Street either.
Oh, flip.
This was actually Hyde Park area.
Interesting.
I'm not exactly see where it is. I'll let you guys figure out where it is. But
Wow.
yeah, I was on Hyde Park. It's a really decent restaurant. Like the food was okay, but the way they presented it looked like you're eating pig slop.
Oh my gosh, that's horrific.
Pig slop. They used the amount of oil they used, like the big tubs of oil, like that big.
Was it like liver? Was it like a pig's liver? Did it look like liver?
Kind of. I would say they did
Ew.
octopus.
Nasty.
One time I
beyond-
swear they ordered a live octopus.
What?
It came in. You have to put that thing in a freezer.
8 tentacles.
Yeah.
Oh my
And they're
gosh.
like, oh, you gotta put this thing in the freezer. It's in a crate. I'm like, I don't want to know what that is. I'm not coming back here because that's it. If I have to put a live animal in a freezer, I'm just leaving.
Oh my gosh.
Right? I'm like, so
That's
I was like,
awful.
okay, that was weird.
That's really terrible. Okay then.
And what else was there? Really weird jobs that I've done. Done a bunch of weird ones. At my very first cooking job, they had the potato peeler on the wall, and this place is not really that safe. It was on Yonge Street. The potato peeler, you put it in and you push down the lever, right?
Interesting.
But the way they had it on the wall, that when you went to push it down, the whole wall would come out to you and go back in.
Yeah.
So every time they're like, oh, you gotta do 100 pounds of potatoes. I'm like, can I just blanch them? I don't want to cut them. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, you gotta cut them. I'm like, fine, but if I die, I'm suing you.
Oh my
I'll get
gosh.
someone to sue you. 'Cause
Yeah.
You can't sue when you're
Should have
dead.
a lawsuit on that for sure.
Right? A lot of really weird rest. Yeah, the wall would like creak back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, flip.
One time I went to pull off a can of tomatoes from
Oh,
the
no.
big Queen Mary. It's about probably from where the bottom floor is all the way up to the ceiling. And I went to pull one can. I walked away. All you hear is one big smash. The whole thing went
Oh,
flying
flip. Oh,
everywhere.
flip. That's
We were
awful.
dead. That Sunday we were dead. We
I
had no
died.
business really. So
That's
I had to
terrible.
spend an hour trying to clean everything up really fast before the general manager walked in.
Are you
They
serious
made
right
me
now?
do it because they blamed it on me. I'm like, it's
Oh,
not my
Lord.
fault. You have all your stuff leveled on really shady looking bricks.
Oh my
You
gosh.
should have them on wheels,
That's
walking
terrible.
wheels. That's like a standard.
That's despicable. Diabolical
That's like
beyond.
going into a freezer and finding like food from last year. Which one restaurant I worked at had that? Food in containers with stickers from like a year or two before.
Wow.
And they expect you to cook that stuff. I'm like, no.
Wow.
I go throw it in the garbage, get yelled at. I'm like, that's not my problem. That's a food hazard. I can
Wow.
make a call to the public health and get you shut down.
Wow.
Like, really?
That's insane. That's
Yeah.
really crazy.
And how about you if you're a smile and dial? You know?
Oh, smile and dial. I almost feel like I should have brought like a banana here. You know, banana, smiley face. No, not smile and dial. How about fall asleep and good riddance?
It's like
So
Wonderland.
I-
It's like working at amusement parks and they make you say my pleasure.
Oh, yeah,
So
my
I did
pleasure.
that for like a whole summer, and now in force of habit, my pleasure. Whenever it's done, thank you, my pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, my
geez.
gosh.
Say you're welcome. I don't work in service anymore, but it's
Yeah.
force of habit.
Yeah,
That's all I do. I've worked in so much service jobs that it gets imprinted in your head,
right.
right?
Wow, that's terrible.
Very, very.
Goodness me. Well, all I have to say is make sure, you know what, if you have problems with employers and you feel like they're discriminating against you and the labor board doesn't want to do anything, become self-employed. That's all that I have to say. That is my advice, you know? But yeah, do you have any experiences here with weird animals or anything like that?
Weird animals. Like, what do you mean by weird animals? Animals itself? People acting like animals?
I mean, you've had a couple of experiences with a video with an animal in it, didn't you? Recently? I think that you did, right?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's that one video I think that you showed me.
What? Oh, no, we're not going into that.
Oh, no, okay. No dark sense of humor.
Oh, okay. Weird animals have been put in the freezer. Okay.
Interesting.
Let's see. A live chicken I've seen one time in a freezer.
Yeah.
And that was really weird. Like, this is when I worked in my really, like, high-class venue. I saw they had live chicken one time. The lobster is a given. You can have a bunch of live lobster in a freezer. That I'm fine with. When I see, like, live chickens and pigs and squid.
Flip. Oh, my
it
gosh.
depends on what you freeze live. Like,
I don't know how you can freeze octopuses, that's
well,
crazy.
you could, but it's very hard to freeze an octopus.
Is it? Yeah.
Because those things, that's their temperature.
Yeah.
So if you're freezing an octopus, you gotta put like some nitro
chloride? Nitro liquid?
I forget. Nitrogen. Liquid
Nitrogen. Oh, yeah, liquid
Freeze it up,
nitrogen.
you know. Dogs? No, I have not seen no dogs in
Oh,
freezers
thank
yet.
God. But
Yet.
you've got other stories about dogs that I'm sure you'd love to share another time, right?
Another time I'll share that
Okay.
story. We have
Sounds
to
good.
build audience for that.
Yeah, of course.
We have
Dark
our
sense
next
of
episode
humor.
will be about the weird stories, embarrassing stories, some
Funny stories.
disturbing stories, and like funny
Embarrassing
moments
moments
and stuff.
and
That's
some
our-
downright just awkwardly humiliating stories. Yes.
That'll be our next show. Next
Yes,
week, next
exactly.
Thursday at 5:30.
Yeah. All right. So if anybody wants to, let us know about your experiences here, we'd love to have a couple of people speak on the show. Even just next week, we always love to have guest speakers on our show. So, wow. Actually, yes, you want to share about any experiences you've had here?
My very first day, I was a server. It was up in Vaughan, and I was clearing a table.
Interesting.
I had my first time, I was a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
I had a whole tray of wine glasses.
Interesting.
Like a whole tray of wine glasses. I'm going through. This lady wouldn't move. I asked her to move her chair closer, and she wouldn't move. I tried to maneuver around her. I tripped over my foot, and the whole tray went into her. All the glass broke everywhere.
It's terrible.
And I cleaned it up. Her arm is bleeding. She's like, "Oh, it's okay. I'll leave the glass there. It's fine. Just give me a cloth. I'll wipe it off." I'm like,
gosh.
"But you have glass in your arm." She's like, "It's fine.
What?
Like,
how's that fine? Are you serious?
Okay. So I told the manager. She's like, "Yeah, she's a weird one. Just leave her.
Good riddance.
We'll keep an eye on her, but if she doesn't want the glass taken out, that's her problem, right?"
Oh boy.
Yeah, okay.
So, I have an experience here. Actually, it's interesting here because the place that fired me, that spilt cream all over my bare leg, was the place that made me get these shoes where you see that you couldn't slip on the floor. You couldn't slip on the ground.
My dress shoes, anti-slip, but I was
anti-slip black shoes. And meanwhile, I never got a reimbursement for that.
You're supposed to.
They never reimbursed me $50 plus tax that I paid. And not once did they reimburse me. It just infuriated me to this day. And you don't want to get sued that people could possibly slip and trip. Well, then at least have the courtesy and the decency to reimburse people for the work year that they have to pay for out of their own pocket.
Technically, though, if they reimburse you, it's supposed to be after 3 months.
Well, that's ridiculous. If they fire you, it should still be on them to reimburse you. You're under the impression in good faith that they're going to keep you to the 90-day probation.
Yeah, that's true.
And I haven't done anything wrong.
Make a new thing saying that if you have to buy anything for work, you get reimbursed, so you can do a tax paper for it.
Yeah.
And if you get fired before your probation's over, some companies will do that for you.
Well, they should, right? Because if you haven't done anything wrong, like I said, I never did anything wrong during all 3 of the times that I got
maybe
fired.
gave the guy a dirty look or something.
Oh, I know. I have so much potential to give people dirty looks, don't I? I'm so mean and rude and sarcastic. Baron Brockovich all over again.
But not really related to spills. So we took a big cart of dishes, of really nice plates, about $250,000 for plates. We wheeled into the elevator, and we're going down to downstairs to the basement because we have to put it away. This is when we were cooking for Justin Trudeau last year. I got to cook for the Prime Minister last year.
Lucky you.
So that was pretty nice.
Interesting.
So anyway, I took it downstairs. And the elevator shook. It shook so hard and it cracked the plates in two. $250,000 in plates.
What?
And yeah. So we just acted like we didn't see it. We wrapped it up, walked away. Now back to Justin Trudeau. He had a couple courses. I think it was 9 that day that we cooked. It was a big function. We had about 300 government officials. President of Mexico, Justin Trudeau, Kathleen Wynne, which people don't like. From what I noticed that day, all the riots of Wynne, I want to stay away. He had chicken dishes. He had this really nice mushroom and mashed potatoes. I think a couple fish dishes. The dessert was like a wild berry that we spent like 3 days preparing. We had to do all this stuff while we had the government of health there, like the Health Canada there, watching over our necks. You have to make sure there's nothing on the floors. All the floors were spick and span, sparkly. If you had one spot on the floor, they yelled at you. The water, they made us turn the water up to, I think, over 200 degrees.
Oh, Lord.
So they wanted the water to burn the skin off your hands. That's how,
That is against the health and safety labor laws. That is crap.
That is the health and safety
laws. I can see that. I know.
Health and safety. They're the ones who even wanted that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the last place that I got fired from, the cafe, which was dictated by a Nazi woman, they basically never even let me sign any health and safety awareness. I never.
Legally, they're supposed to.
Oh, they broke the law with that because they're saving their own rear ends because they don't want to get in trouble with the law. So they can fire anybody they want without. I didn't even sign a government form. Government of Canada, I never signed anything.
Oh, see, then that place probably just didn't want you in the beginning. They're going to hire you for a week and fire you regardless. You didn't sign any government papers.
Oh, nice.
That's a sign you should know. If they don't make you sign any tax papers, like your T4 and all that, like the 2206, all those, when you get hired, it means they're probably going to fire you in a week. They're just using you for free labor.
Good riddance.
Another really scary topic about our government. I discovered this when I worked at my other job I had for a while. You can hire people with mental disabilities and not have to pay them under our law. That's free labor.
I didn't even know that.
I found this out, and that was just disgusted me. I found out this employer was hiring like hundreds of people.
Interesting.
And not paying them because they don't have to. Just giving them free work experience, which is bullshit.
What?
That's another thing. If I ever go to a press rally, I want to bring that up because I'm into politics a lot.
Me too.
And that one just fits. That one annoys me.
That's why we're husband and wife, because we both love politics so much. Yes. Exactly.
Power to the people.
And power to the people indeed. Power to the people, dear. I'm sure that England, where the Queen of England lives, has much better labour laws than Canada does. Wouldn't you say, Mr. Husband? Would you say so, dear? I mean, he's a lovely bloke, and unfortunately I did not meet him in London, England, where the royal family resides. But he agrees that England probably has better labour laws than Canada does, is it not, sweetie?
Yeah, I would say.
All right.
Yeah, with our Prime Minister.
Yes,
and
indeed.
that food event that we did. He was pretty good. He enjoyed all his food from what we heard. It was a good night we celebrated. I think he wanted more. He said he's going to come back and do another function, if I remember right. But unfortunately, I did leave that workplace. I'm not sure if he did go back.
Oh, wow.
But we gave him the best service we did. He loved his food. He gave us, like, good reviews. I think he mentioned on the news, too, when he did that, when they ended up their press conference.
Interesting.
Yeah, he did smile a lot, yeah.
Interesting.
He smiled a lot.
Oh,
and at the end of the night, because we pretty much all of us worked maybe 40, 50 hours that weekend.
Interesting.
And that weekend I had a really disturbing story too, which I'm going to mention on our next show. And I was doing rounds at night and found out some bridesmaids hiding in a tunnel. And that's the story I'll save for next week.
All right.
I'm going to prepare
Let's not
for that one.
forget about that one, dear.
And yeah, so end of the night, it was all good. He enjoyed his food, gave us a good review. He said they're going to come back.
Fantastic.
And we ended up just popping a case of beers. And
nice.
A little celebration of our own.
Well, it's not like you're of underage. You are legal drinking age after all, dear.
Oh yeah, legal drinking age.
Fantastic, dear.
Course, yeah.
Oh, do the ladies like him? Well, I think that's regardless. In my opinion, it does not matter how good looking you are. Good looks has nothing to do with how well you're going to run a country. That's my opinion.
But he did have like a half our parking lot full of girls like in little vans hiding up to take pictures of him.
Oh, stalking, dear.
You think the press was bad that day? No,
terrible
the
stalking.
girls were bad that day.
Oh my goodness!
Go around all of the castle that day and see a bunch of girls in lines trying to get a glimpse of him, maybe try and shake his hand.
Oh my!
I thought the security was bad in the towers. No.
Dear.
These girls are crazy. Between the girls, the riots for the president of Mexico, and then Kathleen Wynne, I probably had a massive headache. I was just trying to ignore everything and get my job done. I had my team have to deal with make sure all the food was going out.
Oh my!
It was a very busy day, and that wasn't the only big event we did. Justin Sure was one. Another one we had was Microsoft International.
Oh, you told me that, Dan.
And they came. We had fire stands, like the tables would light on fire, fire stations, ice stations.
Oh wow!
We had probably 1,000 people from across Europe. And
amazing,
Norway.
Splendid, dear. Anybody there from the UK, like Kate Middleton, or anybody from the royal family?
No, those guys wouldn't come from Microsoft International.
Oh, that's a shame, dear, because you know me, I love my British heritage.
No, but I don't think when I was there we had anyone from the royal family really come. We were supposed to.
Interesting.
We were supposed to, but they didn't want to. I think from what I remember, right, or they couldn't come because some issue with the president and stuff.
Interesting. Well, did you get any free gifts?
Not really. We didn't get no free gifts. That would suck. We worked so hard.
That does
We didn't get no free gifts.
Oh dear.
Nothing really. One event that we did there, it was for the Manulife Center.
Yes.
And they ended up leaving. They ended up leaving a bunch of gift cards, and on these gift cards was like $50 per gift card.
Oh yes.
People scoop these up because in the Manulife Center there's a grocery store and everything, so you get like $1,000 of free grocery.
Yes.
And everyone's gonna jump for that. Or me, I wanted to get some for Indigo.
Yes.
Get some free Indigo books. Too bad, unfortunately, I couldn't get them in time. I
dear.
I ended up getting a few of them, but then I met some people on the street. I'm like, you know what? You guys go buy grocery. Like some homeless people gave my cards out to them. I'm nice like that.
Huh,
right?
Interesting, dear. Well, my question is, I would like to say a special remembrance here for my grandmother. I mean, do you have any grandparents that passed away recently, sweetie? You don't?
No, recently. I have great-grandparents that passed away.
All right.
2 of them that passed away within the last couple of years.
Okay, well, I just want to say a shout-out to my Grandma Richards. She's actually born in China because her parents love to travel the world. And so, anyway, she just passed away October 30th, 2016.
I'm sorry.
And it's because of her that I've got my British heritage, because she and my grandfather were from England, even though she's actually got some Welsh background. She's got Welsh and British in her, but all the United Kingdom nevertheless.
Oh, so you're a mixture of all the crazy.
Oh, thank you so much. I know, I'm a crazy Looney Tune. I come from the Addams family. I resemble the Addams family themselves, don't I, dear?
When you go into your crazy fits,
I know.
yeah, I would say that.
I'm Mrs. Adam, and you're Mr. Adam. You married into the Addams family,
yes,
dear.
Clearly. I know. Where's Lurch, you know?
Yes. Continuing on here. So my grandmother, she passed away from leukemia at 90 years of age.
Oh,
she lived
long.
a very long life, and I have good genetics and a great, strong British heritage because of her. So Margaret Catherine Richards, rest in peace. I will never forget you. You know, she was always there for me growing up. I was her only granddaughter. Back to my normal voice here. So she would be very proud of me right now if she was watching this. I know that she would be. And I know that right now she's resting in a better place. So she doesn't have to suffer anymore from her leukemia.
Yeah.
So if my family's watching this, my family, I got cousins in Texas and Arizona. If they're watching this, Auntie Meg, I'm talking about my grandmother, Auntie Meg. So thank you so much, everyone.
Okay, and I'd like to give a shout out to our viewers from last week.
Yes.
Thanks for watching our first episode and being so supportive.
Thank you so much for doing that.
You helped us get a total of over 400 views since we went live.
Yeah.
More? Okay, more than
almost 500 views.
Oh, 1,500. I didn't even realize.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Because we shared on other sites. That's
yes,
right.
That's why. So thank you so much for your support. We're really, really grateful for that. It means the world to us. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'd love to have guest speakers starting next week. So anybody call in. I will be contacting some of my friends to speak on the show.
You can even message us on our Facebook page, FB / Emily and Raymond is our Facebook page. You can message us there. Our social media, you can add us if you want. Send
Instagram,
us a
Twitter, we've got our YouTube as well.
And you can also call in on the Frequency 5 phone number behind us. You can email them too if you want to be guest speakers for us.
Yep. 647-857-4454. So thank you so much. And again, YouTube, we've already got a good decent views of
YouTube. We got about 36 views so far.
And our
YouTube channel is the Emily and Raymond Show.
Exactly.
So we have different videos that we do on there.
Yeah.
We're going to do and our same thing, like embarrassing videos, live events, different like events. And
promoting a short film that I'm doing as well.
Next week too, Emily will most likely be promoting her calendar.
Yeah,
she has a modeling calendar.
I got a modeling calendar that I'm working on. Thanks, Amon, for that idea. By the way, if Amon's watching this was his idea about the modeling calendar. But my husband here has been incredibly supportive. And our personal Instagram, mine is @EmilyCOfficial, EMILYC, and your personal Instagram.
Mine, I end up changing name to Ray Nankumar31, and that Instagram is linked to our Facebook page, so you can always go to that Instagram page. You can even have a call option because it's a business Instagram. You can call me direct if you need to.
Yeah.
And subscribe.
And keep updated on the weekly posts. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.